I don't want your kisses. I don't want your kisses. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I do. I'll scratch that belly.
Yeah, he loves the belly rubs.
I'll scratch that belly.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
He needs a good brushing of the teeth and of the body. Hey. No kisses. No kisses.
Are we rolling it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you better explain what's happening.
Well, you're just hanging out with man's best friend.
Hey, happy Halloween. What's your favorite Halloween song? We were listening to a bunch this morning as we were getting ready.
I don't think I have one. You know what I like is that the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack.
You like that movie?
Yeah, that movie's brilliant.
I've never watched it.
Really?
Really?
Came out in 92, maybe? That was before your time.
How do you remember what year it came out?
Because I was in college.
Oh.
Yeah.
You were in college in 92?
That's right. For the first time. And then the second time in 98. Yeah. So yeah.
Anything from that soundtrack? I'm a Monster Mash guy.
Yeah, that's...
He did the mash. He did the Monster Mash.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It was a graveyard smash.
So now you're leaving your microphone on during worship songs and you're singing on the podcast.
I don't know, man.
I think maybe
I'm a
it's...
Monster Mash man. That's my song. That's my
Can
Halloween
you do
jam.
the Monster Mash?
I don't... Is there an actual dance?
Of course.
Do you know it?
Do I know? No.
Yes, you do.
I don't know dances. Sorry.
I'll just turn my hat backwards.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Let me just...
Oh, my lighting's not right for the 5 of you that watch the
You look
video.
really good. You look really good.
Okay.
Don't mock viewership. Don't mock the viewership. People like to see you.
Do you like Halloween?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like it when it's 20 degrees outside.
Yeah.
I don't really care for that.
What was your favorite outfit you ever dressed up as?
Probably Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
I did, my dad made a paper mache moose head for me once. Yeah, it's this massive.
For
my
what,
dad would go all out.
Bullwinkle or?
I just think it was a big moose. I don't know what the precipice was. But you know, the antlers were out to here.
Yeah.
And most, normal houses,
You can't
really like navigate so I kept banging it on the bricks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. Paper mache moose head. Yeah, how about you?
I don't remember what my favorite was, but I remember one year it was like during Desert Storm. My uncle had just come back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was wearing his fatigues, like legit fatigues. And my dad did this like face paint. So like my face was just like totally, like all camoed out. Mm-hmm. And I remember one house had a bobbin for apples. I went in and just ruined the water, and ruined my face. And I just remember that, like, Dad being like, "What were you thinking?"
Like, come on.
And I was like, "What? I want to bob." That's something you don't do anymore.
Yeah,
I
never cared to
germ
bob.
understanding.
Well, I mean, it doesn't want to stick my face in a bowl full of water, period.
Yeah.
Let alone contaminated water.
Let alone you don't know who else went for that same apple.
The same apple. There you go. Yeah, took a little nibble out of that.
Yeah.
Right around the time when everybody's getting sick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How's your house?
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Everybody vitamined up or what?
No, we were sick like two weeks ago or so.
Mm-hmm. So you guys were patient zero?
No, we didn't have you guys. You guys been sick this week.
Well, not you guys, but.
Well, yeah, you're invincible because you take cold showers.
I'm invincible. Cold showers.
What about
Cold
like
showers
Stevie
are
Wonder?
Extra cold.
Very superstitious.
Ooh, that's a great song.
It's a Halloween song.
Is it?
Yeah, it was on the list this morning.
Well, they got to reach a little bit.
I put a spell on you.
Ooh, because it's witchcraft.
That's not the song.
Crazy. No, that's another one though.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thriller. I think Thriller's overrated.
You think Thriller's overrated?
Yes, it's
man,
not
you
that
would.
good of a song.
You would. You're like anti-establishment. You're
No,
like people
I
love
just
Star
don't
Wars.
think
I don't
Thriller's-
like Star Wars. People like the Huskers. I don't like the Huskers.
What are you doing? You don't even like the Huskers.
Recording speed on storage media not sufficient. Oh, that's interesting. Whatever. We're gonna be like for the two people.
Yeah,
I like the Huskers just fine. Thank you.
I root for the Huskers.
I love the volleyball team.
I think they're gonna win next week and be bowl eligible. I'm excited.
I don't even know who they play.
They're at Michigan State,
Okay.
so
You think they're gonna beat Michigan State, huh?
yeah, Michigan State's coach got fired and they're giving up on their season.
Giving up?
Oh yeah.
How about Michigan's coach? Did you see they pulled his contract?
But see, you know the part of this that's going to frustrate me is by the time the punishments actually come out, everyone involved is already going to be gone. Like Harbaugh this year at the end is going to go to the NFL because he knows what's coming, and then they're going to like punish the school. Whereas it's like you have all the freaking evidence. You already know that this guy went to all these games. Just suspend the team. Just go ahead and block them from the Big Ten championship and from the playoff. Just go ahead and do it. You already know he did this.
Do you think it's possible that all the teams cheat?
I think all teams try and get an advantage. I'll say it that way. And
Okay.
I think there's
By cheating?
Sure, but you're allowed to steal signs during a game. You're not allowed to go travel ahead of time to games and scout. Now, do I think Michigan's the only one that does that? Absolutely not. But I think you have to make an example when you do catch someone to try and discourage it.
Make an example of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do I think all of them cheat? Maybe in some way. And so you got to go. I mean, this is caught. You've got to show. I mean, you've got to go all the way on the punishment to try and discourage this. Or, like they said, just get the headsets and the helmets.
Why don't they do that?
I know. It's so dumb.
Yeah. This seems like the right thing to do.
So. Yeah. But Halloween. What's your favorite candy?
I like the peanut butter and chocolate.
So
Whatever.
Reese's?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do the Reese's Pieces, peanut butter cups, the little pumpkin jack-o'-lantern heads.
I don't know why I'm much more a Reese's Pieces guy than a cup. I like the Reese's Pieces.
The cup's a little much,
Okay, yeah.
right?
But I could eat 1.5 billion of Reese's Pieces.
Well, yeah, because they're little.
Right. I love Reese's Pieces.
I was like an addict. Not last night, the night before, looking for something sweet in the house. I don't know why. It was a long day, and I had dinner late.
Are you an eater when you're a stress eater?
Oh, yeah.
A comfort eater?
Yeah, and I just like sweet stuff at night. There's no secret to that.
No.
But when I have dinner late, then I need something sweet.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was kind of rooting around going, where is the candy? Couldn't find it.
So there's no candy left for the kids?
Couldn't find it.
Oh.
Yeah, couldn't find it.
So do you guys hand out candy or do you go out?
Yeah, both. This is our first Halloween here, though, so.
Are you a leave a bowl out kind of person or do you wait till you get back?
No, we're not a leave a bowl out because we know kids are
Yeah, they just take it all.
terrible little monsters.
We don't
so-
either. If you want candy from us, you got to come while we're here.
Oh, that's right. Otherwise, lights are going off.
Right.
And then you can egg our house.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We go out and do our loop, and then we come back and hand out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thankfully we're to the age now here where the kids can just go.
Yeah.
You know, and so we'll be here to hand out candy bars or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's going to be like a one for you, one for me kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Then tomorrow I'll be like regretting it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I can't get over the sweets. I'm really struck. And maybe, like, I did pretty well this summer, but maybe it's like the temperature change or something. And like to your point, like the comfort.
Hibernation.
That's what it is.
It's cold and you're thickening up your skin.
Yeah. Candy. Nothing like candy. Like hands full of candies at 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
That's really good for the blood sugar. Right before you go to bed.
It's good, to fatten you up for the winter, so you stay warm.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're such a skinny mini.
I'm not a skinny mini.
You are.
No.
I worry about you in the winter.
No, you really don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
You're gonna freeze.
I got plenty.
You got like 0.4 body fat.
No, I get it's up there. Kayla
Gonna buy you a
had
parka.
We had a wrestling meeting for Kayla last night, and they're talking about the alpha testing. You know what that is?
No.
Basically, where they test your hydration and they test your body fat. And the way that Concordia does it is they don't want kids cutting weight like significantly. They don't want that.
Right.
So they're not about that. So that's kind of cool. I thought.
Yeah. Favorite scary movie?
The Shining.
Oh yeah, because you've been to the hotel.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
That movie's scary. I do like.
I've never seen it.
I like a good Oh man. How about Poltergeist? You seen Poltergeist?
I've seen parts. I think I've seen the little girl looking at the TV, and she's like, "They're here," and I'm like, "I'm out." I don't like scary movies.
You don't?
No.
So what's your favorite scary
movie?
Is your favorite scary movie like Scary Movie?
That
makes fun of scary movies?
The parody.
Yeah.
I think I have seen that. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I can't even say I have a favorite scary movie.
Okay.
I do not like scary movies.
Well, what's a scary movie that you saw as a kid that
traumatized me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll tell you that, like, even I was in college, and I went to see The Grudge.
Yeah.
And there's a scene with like a cabinet or something like that, like a like closet kind of cabinet thing. And I had one just like it in my dorm room. And that night, like I could not
Really?
sleep. Like scary movies, man. I got a vivid imagination, and so like
that could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've said my thing is evil little kids. When there's evil little kids, like The Ring, oh man, I could not handle it. When she pops out of that TV, I was in the theater, like screaming at the top of my lungs. Like I had my feet up on the seat in front of me, my hands out, like, "Ah!" Like as she's coming out of that TV at you, like. And I hate scary movies.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was in Austin for college, there was this haunted house. You had to pay a lot of money. I think it was like $30 or $40 a person just to go through it. But it was in a mall, and it was in like a store that had gone out. And so it was just like 9 different rooms that you went into, and each room was a scene from a horror movie.
Ooh.
Like legit.
Yeah, like recreated.
Yeah. And so like we go into the next one, the next one, the next one. We walk into this one room, and it's just a living room. I'm like, what is this? And all of a sudden the TV turns on, and it's the movie from The Ring, and I was like, no. And all of a sudden they hit with the strobe, and this girl comes from the corner, like crawling at you. And I pick up the coffee table, and I'm like holding it between us and her. And all of a sudden, like immediately this security guy like grabs me. He's like, put that back down.
Right.
And I was like, okay. But like,
But get me out of here.
Yeah, I was like, I'm out. Like I cannot. But the best part is the very last room, and I don't even know what movie it was, but you're like in a kitchen,
Okay.
and a guy comes chasing you with a chainsaw, I didn't even look at who it was. I don't know if it's Jason or somebody. I don't know what it was. But I remember we were in the kitchen. Because that was the terrifying part for me is I don't watch scary movies. So I had no idea what was coming. Like I'm in this room and I'm like, what? What movie is this, guys? What movie is this? And they only let you go in like groups of 3 or 4, like, so you're small. And so anyways, I heard the chainsaw behind me and boom, I was just gone. And so the best part is you go out the back, the door out of this, they chase you with the chainsaw, and it opens up right into the mall. And there's like 500 people standing there watching you because you're getting chased by a chainsaw. And so you bust out this door and you're screaming and yelling, and all these people are like, ah, and you're like, oh man. But like we came out and it was just my roommate and my girlfriend and I. And she jumped onto my roommate's back because he's a big guy, and he's running and he's holding my arm, like by my elbow, like pulling me out, and we're getting chased and we come busting out and everybody just loses it and we're screaming. Yeah.
So let me make sure I got that right. Your girlfriend
jumped on Jared's back,
on your buddy's back, and he was dragging you, and the next day she broke up with you.
No. To be fair, I walked into the room and I stopped walking because I was like, what room is this? And they kept walking. So I was all the way by the entrance, and I caught them by the end of the room. I was gone. Yeah. They were like in the middle of the room when the chainsaw came on. But yeah, I'm not a scary movie fan. I know there are people that love that stuff, like just love to get scared, and I'm not.
You know what's a scary movie that's not a Halloween movie is, what's the Alien movie with Mel Gibson?
Signs.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
That's a scary movie.
If you call it that one, I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
I love M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Village. I thought that was a great movie. I know a lot of people hate that movie. I was like, I loved that movie.
That's a really good movie.
He even had that weird one, The Lady in the Water or something like that.
I didn't see that one.
It's all based at a hotel. I thought that one was cool. I liked his stuff.
What about I See Dead People, that one?
Oh, Sixth Sense, yes. See, yeah, if you count that as horror, I loved that. I mean, that movie, that movie freaked me out.
What would you call those, psychological thrillers?
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sixth Sense, that freaked me out, man. Because I just remember that opening scene, like, with the
Donnie Wahlberg.
No, not that one. Not that one. Fast forward a little bit, where the kid is in the kitchen and the mom walks into the kitchen, walks out of the kitchen, comes back, and all the cupboards are open.
Oh yeah.
She's like, "Were you looking for?" Like, man, if
no.
even 2 years later after seeing that movie, if I walked into a room and the cupboard was open, like a cupboard, I was like, "Oh man,
who did it? Who's messing with me?
There's a ghost."
That scene where Donnie Wahlberg's like in the bathroom of his house.
Yes. Is that who that actor is?
Yes.
I am gonna have to watch that.
I bet you like Wahlburgers.
I've eaten at it. Yeah.
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 It's pretty good.
Do you believe in ghosts? We had this.
I believe in spirits.
Yeah, we had this whole talk in
like a year ago.
Oh, did we?
I don't know.
No, I was gonna say in youth group.
Oh, did you guys go to haunted house?
No, we were supposed to go Saturday night, but it was like 12 and
the weather
misty, and
that's perfect.
Yeah, no, that's too cold.
We went to a volleyball tournament. Leah was playing it on Saturday, and we drove by. It was over by Haunted Hollow, which is like La Vista, and I had forgotten it was there. I was like, "Oh yeah, that was the first haunted house I took Logan to." He was like 5.
What is wrong with you? Why would you take a kid to that?
I don't know. It just seemed like it was because I was like, well, hey, like these are all teenagers. They're they're like theater students. There's nothing really scary about it. They dress up. Well, we went on a night when nobody was there. So it was just the two of us. He was little. Maybe he wasn't 5. Maybe he was 6. But he was little.
That's like Beckett's age. I would never take Beckett to a haunted house.
I know. I don't know what I was thinking. But nonetheless, going to a haunted house is one thing when you're a little kid, but going when there's nobody else in the property, and they can focus all their efforts on you.
Maybe that's why Logan is such a mature adult, because like you took him and he was like, clearly I am the only one in this relationship that's making good decisions.
This is no kid. Well, yeah. Well,
I need to be the adult around here.
At that time in his life, that's probably true. So when there was this barn that we walked through, it was kind of a maze. And so we were going through it, and there was a long hallway, and it was very narrow. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the hallway, I could see somebody.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, buddy, look. There's somebody down at the end of that hallway. We got to go that way. It's the only way we can get out of here. We're going to go past this person in a very tight hallway.
You didn't just like pick him up and hold him?
I had him in front of me, and I said, I'm going to cover your eyes. You're right. Take him.
Listen, buddy. Only one of us is going to make it out of this.
He volunteered his tribute. Yeah. So I just had his eyes, like covered. And then we got to meet up with the person, and we had to like scooch by him. Yeah. He's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's, thriving.
Yeah. As a young kid, he was like, man, if I don't shape up, that's going to take me there again.
Take me back. He's
I'm never going to mess up.
He's looking at the calendar. It's May. He's like, October is coming up. Yeah, I can say that he didn't go back. So
yeah.
Well, shoot, you guys didn't get to go.
Yeah.
Spirits. Yeah, spirits.
Yeah.
Do you believe in spirits?
Well, there are spirits.
The Holy Spirit?
There you go.
He's the best one.
He's my favorite.
He's my favorite.
No, I mean, like, you can go in the Bible and you can find spirits.
Yeah.
When Jesus walks on water, all the disciples think
it's a ghost.
They think he's a ghost.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's been... And then you can go to, like, the Witch of Endor, who Saul goes to, and she conjures up the spirit of Samuel. Mm-hmm. And it's the real spirit of Samuel. Because, that's the theological debate, is what are spirits? Yeah. And our understanding would be that they are the demons posing as people that have existed to try and trick you into thinking you don't go anywhere. Yeah. And that one scene in the Bible, for whatever reason, God allows the actual spirit of Samuel to come back to tell Saul, don't do this. Why are you at the witch? Why are you, conjuring me? Like, don't do that, kind of thing. But yeah, my apartment, my dorm in Austin was haunted. I saw something. So, a lot of people saw her. It was a girl in a white gown with long dark hair. I did. I believe it was a demonic spirit that was there messing. But
did you try to talk to her?
No. So it was twice. It was a bunch of people had experiences.
Okay.
But there was because of the humidity in Texas, our hall would like fog up. Mm-hmm. Like, truly fog would form in the hallway during certain nights, and stuff like that. And so there were some dudes across the hall that, because everybody talked about the girl. Everybody talked about it. And they were doing the whole lights off in the room and taking a picture into the TV to see the reflections back,
Okay.
And they were doing that. And then one of them, there's a girl in a gown, dark hair, standing in the corner. And like, they're showing everybody. And everybody's like, oh, you had somebody dress up. You had somebody do that. It's, And so that was like the first time that I like saw it. But she was like translucent. Like, I don't know how you can see all of them and they're like thick. And then she's like there, but translucent. Like, and that was my first time of like, man, is that really a spirit? Yeah. And I went to our theology professor, and I was like, tell me, like, what, he was like, if you were Satan and you wanted to convince people that You didn't go anywhere. You, of course you
You're
would.
stuck here.
And he goes,
Well, in
I
between.
hear the rumors. He's like, do I think something's over there? Sure, but I think it's messing with people, you know. And but then it was one night I was in the floor. So I'll give you my two stories. I don't know if one of them is legit.
Okay.
But I was there and I witnessed it. So it was one night. And the hallway had fogged up again. So, I mean, it was like creepy, you know, like your whole hallway's fogged up. And it's probably like 2 a.m. and we're laying there. And all of a sudden, like, you hear a little girl singing. And like in the hallway, like up and down the hallway, like kind of moving. And everybody's just like on edge. Like, what is that? And she's singing, you know, and like we get up, like my 4 roommates, we open our door, like multiple people are opening their doors and are like, you hear that, right? And we're like, yeah, we hear that too, you know, and like we'd all be quiet. And I mean, like pretty much every door is open, right? And everybody's like, who's playing it? Who's playing it? People are walking up and down, and all of a sudden we'd be quiet again. But then I'm telling you, we're all standing in our hall, in our doorways, and we could hear like little singing, like just, you know, just whatever the song was. And the sound was moving through the hallway.
Oh.
Like you would hear it to your right, hear it move to the left. And I was like, okay, maybe somebody's got something in the like ceiling, like moving back, but you couldn't hear it because I mean we heard it for like probably 10 minutes. And like other people came down to the hallway, people were walking the hallway with it, you know, like, and it was just like, this is disturbing.
That is extremely disturbing.
Yeah. And then there was another night where it was late and there was a, you know, like in a hotel, like there's always like a window at the end of the hall.
Yeah.
So that night it just becomes like kind of a mirror, you know, like you look down the hallway.
Okay.
And so I was up on the 4th floor. I was leaving the dorm, going down to the 2nd floor of my room, you know, and I'm walking towards the window and to go downstairs, and over my shoulder I see the same girl that was in that picture, like white long gown, dark hair, just standing in the hallway, probably like good 20 or 30 feet behind me. But I'm looking in the reflection, and I mean, like, I whip around, and I look, nothing there, you know, like I look back, nothing there, but I mean, like, clearly saw it for a good 2 seconds. And I was like, And it was the exact same girl. Because I had that experience before I saw the picture from those guys.
Oh.
And then when they had that picture, I was like, that's what I saw. But
we
the
do try to
singing
convince
one was-
ourselves of things, don't we, though?
Yeah, of course. And I'll fully admit, no idea what that was. No idea. But I've talked to lots of people that have seen ghosts, seen dark, demented things. And
Well, there was a ghost at Wesleyan.
yeah.
Yeah. I was just looking up. I couldn't remember her name. Clara Mills.
Oh, they know her name?
Yeah, the ghost of Clara Mills. Yeah, at Old Main. Ghost of former Nebraska Wesleyan professor. So she was a professor. A heart attack may have taken her away from her beloved university, but Clara Mills has found a way to return.
Did you ever see it?
No, not
Did you ever see?
class.
Huh? I never
It's a
went to
class. You'd have to be in the building.
That's how you protect yourself.
Right. That's why I didn't go.
Yes.
Yeah, look at her.
And so people see her.
Yeah, apparently.
But I mean, you get it if you were. I mean, I think Satan does a bunch of things to try and get people to doubt the Bible.
Oh.
And one of them would be taking the form of spirits of dead people.
Right.
To try and then there's these people that dedicate their lives to try and communicate with them and talk to them and, you know, Ouija board them and all these things. And I think Satan's just going, yes, a little deeper.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So, no, I don't think I actually saw a ghost of a dead girl. I think I saw a spirit messing with people.
Are you familiar with any televangelists that...
Communicate to the dead?
No, but offer to protect their parishioners from spirits if they give enough money?
Are there some?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just
That's
curious.
disgusting.
Just curious.
I'm sure
I thought
are.
I thought that was a good segue.
Oh, to get us back on topic? Money.
I did see.
Hey,
I did see a preacher. What?
You okay? Are you talking about money?
Well,
Oh, jeez. I forgot Baxter was in here. I was like, "What just licked me?" Baxter, you got me, dog.
Good boy. Right on time.
I told you to stop licking me.
Oh my goodness, Baxter.
He's been asleep for like 10 minutes.
We've been down here eating his foot.
Oh. I'm just sitting here and I was like, what is that?
Get yourself spooked over there. What were you asking me? You know, I don't know.
Stay on topic. Money.
Money. Yeah, but you were pointing at something. What were you pointing at over here?
I wasn't pointing at it.
Oh, okay. Hey. Just
Okay.
because my little tiny little fluffy handsome
I
little
forgot.
dog scared you. Come here, mister. Come here.
Oh, listen to you talking all sweet because he scared me.
mister. He's my buddy.
Oh yeah,
He is.
that's how you talk about him all the time.
Just the two of us.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, mister. He's my good boy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're bonding. It makes Sarah mad. She's like, seems like he likes you more than he likes me. I'm like,
Yeah.
bros.
Yeah.
Misters before sisters, am I right?
Yeah.
The truth is I just feed him little bites of steak. That's the secret to Baxter's love, right? Don't
Can't
lick me
eat
again,
too
or I'm
much.
gonna yank your tongue out.
Yeah, his breath is awful. You need to give him
What do you
some
want me to do?
treats.
Give him mint?
We brush Maddie's teeth.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Money. So, yep, we got to the final week of Dream Big. We got to talk about treasures, which is money, and it's one of those things. I know there's pastors that are uncomfortable talking about money, and they bring in like an outside pastor to do that talk.
Should have made Brady do it.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anything a pastor shouldn't talk to their people about. I think especially when it comes to this, because what I said over and over, and I love that people repeat it back, but I was like, look, we're after way more than your money. We're after your, and they're like, heart.
You think we're after your money? We're after way more than that.
Yeah, we are. We're actually after your time, talents, and treasures.
Yeah.
Because if we're going to be the church that God calls us to be, it's going to take a bunch of people being generous with their time, talents, and treasures. And for the right reasons, not out of compulsion or obligation, but out of like
guilt.
Or guilt.
Yeah,
Like
it's a big one.
or guilt.
Right.
Yeah. Or just those people like trying to buy off, like, oh, I'm not going to volunteer, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to. I'll just write a nice check, and that buys off God, and it's like, no, like, keep your money. Like, all we're calling everyone to is a heart of generosity, a heart that says, God, you have blessed me, you have been rich towards me, you have given me your first and your best in your Son Jesus Christ. And you've blessed my life with this and this and this and this and this. And so my way of saying thank you is to be generous back. And not that my entire life and my entire income and my entire, skill set is all you. But like, I'm gonna give you the first and best back. I'm gonna carve out, first and foremost, time with you, time using my skills that you give me to bless your church and your people. And the income you give me, I'm gonna take something off the top, first and foremost, that makes a difference for the kingdom. And that's what it's all about. And that's what we need, is people with generous hearts in all those aspects. Because, I just look at my own life. I've had different seasons of generosity, There have been seasons where, where time wasn't something I could give a lot of. Well, okay, then let me find a different way to be generous. Can I step up in this way? Can I step up in this way? There are times where, for everyone, where things are tight financially. Okay, then let me step up this way, and let me step up this way. It's just about saying, like, God, I want to show you that if you look at my life and the way that I spend my time, my talents, and my treasures, it should be evident that you are a priority, not an afterthought, not an end of the day, get the leftovers, but you're a priority.
Yeah.
And financially too. And so we had some fun with the money types, out there. You had the hoarder and the spender, and I saw heads nodding, and then the avoider, the scorekeeper. A lot of people hate the scorekeeper, the person that keeps track of money and talks about it constantly. And if you get lunch, I said, like you get lunch, then you cover it the week before, and they cover it the next time. They remember, like, yours was $5 less than mine is right now, so like we ought to even.
How are we gonna? Yeah.
And I know I have a couple scorekeepers I know, and yeah, it's obnoxious. It's obnoxious how they obsess over money, and it's just like, just shut up. Like it's $1. Like seriously. But then you have, I think. The manipulator and the flaunter, we talked about all that. And we just said, look, there are lots of attitudes that come towards money that are just from the world and they're ungodly. And John 10:10 says, like, look, if you do things Satan's way, it only robs, kills, and destroys. But God's way brings abundance of life. Not abundance of money, abundance of life, like joy, peace, happiness, purpose, and God's way of doing things is different. So we hopped into 1 Timothy 6. And the first point was we got to learn to be content. You are never, ever going to find the abundant life that God has for you if you cannot learn to be content with what you have. If you are always wanting more money, wanting more stuff, wanting more this, wanting more that, you're never going to find the abundant life that God has for you. So the first lesson we have to learn with our money is to be content with what we already have.
Your point of, I think you used like a number like $10,000. Like, if you think that if only I had this amount of money or these things, then I'd be happy, then I'd be content, or then I'd feel safe, or whatever it happens to be. Baxter's coming back over. Just heads up.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. And that's such a good point, that if you really, really, really are honest with yourself, you'll know that is not true. Having what you're focused on or what you think you need financially is not going to solve whatever the problem is.
Right. I think, a lot of us believe, and what I talked about there was a lot of us believe two lies. One, if I just had a little bit more, it would fix everything. Mm-hmm. And two, if I had more, I would use it the right way. And they're both lies. Yeah. Because time and time again, we see it play out where it just doesn't happen that way. That more money only reveals where your heart is already at. And too many people are like, I don't have enough money right now to be generous, but if I had more, I would be generous with it. And the reality is, where your heart is already at is what you're going to do when you get there. Like, more money is not going to change your generosity. If you're not generous now, you're not going to be generous then. And you're like, well, no. If I had $10 million, I would be generous then. Mm-hmm. And the reality is okay, yeah, you would give some money away, but where your heart's at already is where it's going to be. And so if you don't learn the art of generosity now with what you already have, you're not going to have it one day. But yeah, we all believe that lie. And we all believe the lie of stuff. We're about to get into that Christmas season where it's like, oh, got to find her the right gift. Got to get this. The kids are going to love this present. I mean, how many times? We've had this talk on this show already about Christmas. And you buy these kids these presents, and within an hour, they're bored and, go play with your new
stuff. The next day is my favorite.
Yeah.
A day or two later after Christmas, when they're home for break, they're like, I'm bored. It's, maybe it's miserable outside. They can't even go outside and do anything. I'm bored. You're like, you're bored? There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do?
Yeah.
What did we just...
Yeah.
We just gave you all this stuff.
Yeah.
Not possible.
Go use it. Yeah. Go play with it. But I mean, like stuff can't save us, and stuff can't make us happy, and stuff isn't our hope, But so many times we believe these lies. Like, if I had this, I would be happy. If I had this, we put so much hope and trust and faith in stuff and money and more. And the heart of generosity begins with being content with what you already have.
Mm-hmm.
And the phrase that I saw, it was another church, and I forget what church, but it was one of their mission statements, and it said, if God gives me nothing else for the rest of my life, he's already given me enough. Mm-hmm. That was their generosity statement. And I was like, man, I love that.
Well, for people who struggle with it, and I mean, we all do, I suppose, in different times of life and seasons and all that, circumstances. But for people who struggle with being content with what they have, what advice do you give them?
How would you say look backwards? Look at the last thing you thought was going to make you happy. Just walk around your house and look at all the things and just take time to remember each thing. Mm. When I got that brand new big TV, I said I was going to be happy. Am I happy and content with it? Or am I not? Mm-hmm. When I bought this new pair of jeans that fit me just right, and I said it was going to, and I think you have to look back and just realize that the myth of stuff satisfying and being, answering it for you, that it falls short, that eventually it gives out, eventually it doesn't satisfy, eventually. And I think the thing that you have to understand is look, if you're always going to allow your heart to want, it's always going to be a journey that you can never accomplish.
Mm. You said, I think even during this series, and I've heard it before too, that we try to fill a God-sized hole in in ourselves and our heart with the stuff of this world.
Oh yeah.
And that's an impossible hole to fill with the stuff of this world.
Right. Everything in this world is temporary. Everything in this world fades. Everything in this world doesn't live up to the promise. And eventually you learn that lesson. And the way you find contentment is, I think, just maturity. Understanding that truth of this is, hey, we're going to do this and this is going to be good, a good thing for us. We're going to get this new car. We've done that. We bought a new van 2 years ago. I'm not saying you don't get to not do anything good, but it's just a van. It's not going to satisfy. It's not going to last. And I think the more you can just learn to be content with what you have, and I think the way you do that is kind of focusing on that phrase. I already have salvation. I already have heaven. I already have reuniting with family, being with Jesus, no more tears, no more sorrow, no more pain, no more poverty, feast that never ends. I already have all that. And all this stuff is temporary. All this stuff is meaningless, It's I think we talked about a couple weeks ago, those times that you see these big mega stars and they're miserable with all the stuff they have, and all the popularity and all the tours of people singing their names, and they're just miserable because eventually you see all the stuff of this world does not satisfy. Mm-hmm. And the quicker you can come to that realization and that maturity, the more you'll learn to be content with what you already have, and you're okay. And I think a big one for me was going on that mission trip, and I talked about that. Go to a third world country. Go to see the poverty of this world. When GraceHill went down to the Navajo reservation 2 or 3 years ago, to serve down there, and you see right here in America how people are living, and then you come home and just go, you know what? I am so spoiled. I don't need anything else. I'm good. Mm-hmm. And I think the more you learn to be content, the more you're going to find joy. Mm. The second one was that with the resources we have, with the treasures we have, that we just need to make sure we're investing in something that matters for eternity. Not with all of it. I mean, you still need to pay bills, and God still wants you to have rest and enjoyment and fun, and like have things to take care of you, and it's okay to have something fun, but with part of your income, you need to be investing in something that matters for eternity. When all of your money, all of your resources is spent on things of this world that are temporary, that fade, like like I was talking to a person, and they were complaining about their brother. It was their brother and sister-in-law. And they were talking about that their kids are in like hockey, like travel hockey. And they were like, man, that guy drops like 15 to 20 grand a year on traveling all around the country for his kids' hockey. And they were like, just shocked that someone would waste this much money. And it's like, look, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you can invest in the temporary things of this world, but that kid might not even make it through high school with hockey. And then you've wasted all of this time and money and, all this kind of stuff. And maybe it's not a waste. Maybe you love it and all that. But I think at the end of the day, to invest in something that matters, that makes a difference on where people will spend eternity, whether it's, supporting a church. I mean, I don't know, like when we send the kids out to kids' church, and you watch that just like parade of energy just head out the room, and just to think like there'll be a day where they're bringing their kids here to this church. Like, we're going to see generations of kids and generations of kids, and just think like that was worth investing in. That was worth the sacrifice.
Yeah, they're eternal gains.
Right.
In that, the ROI on that is
right.
Is not even calculable.
Or setting up something like the Heartland Hope and propping them up, or to make sure that people in their poverty or in their hardship know that there is a God that loves them and still takes care of them, to hold them up when they needed that encouragement and that faith that somebody was there and that God was there. Or, when we invest in like Project Hope and things like that people that go through tragedy, that you rally around, like investing in something that helps people hold on to Jesus, hold on to hope, find Jesus for the first time, be helped through their problems. Like, that's worth investing in. And that's worth investing in, because at the end of your days, as you lay there in bed and you're going to be like, okay, in my lifetime I made whatever it is. I forget what the average American makes in their lifetime, but I think it's millions, like a couple million. And you're like, did any of it matter? All the stuff I spent money on, all the power I had to do something that mattered, to leave some type of legacy, to leave some type of inheritance to this world. Well, what's the only inheritance that matters? Jesus. The heaven. Eternity. And to say, like it was when we buried Joe's grandpa, and his final words were, I'm just so blessed that my family is in the faith. Like, at the end of the day, to just know, like, I'm going, and I'm going to see all you there because I invested in things that mattered. I invested in my church that took care of my family, and is going to keep taking care of my family even once I'm gone, and hold them in the faith so that I'm going to see them again. That's worth investing in. That's worth it.
Yeah, I think a lot about a church raising up young leaders. Investing in young people who will ultimately become the leaders of that particular congregation, and the things that they're able to accomplish that last far beyond our years. We're talking about building this church in a year and a half, and all the excitement that goes along with that. But the next year and a half, it's like, oh, we can't wait. But we're talking about decades and decades and decades and decades of local mission work, really in and inside and outside of that church that'll have eternal consequences for this community, and the investment that we can pour into the future generations.
Yeah. And then the last point was that we bring our first and our best to God. That God went first. God gave us everything in Jesus. And he didn't wait to see if we earned it. He didn't wait to see if we appreciated it. He didn't wait to see, he went all in. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. And he gives his first and his best to us. He already goes all the way to the max of generosity by sacrificing his own son. And so we, in return, out of thanks and love, we give our first and our best to him too. And so when it comes to our finances, that's what we do, is we just come and we bring it. And that the heart that God, the money personality that God wants for all of us is the giver. That just, hey, this is how I show my love to God and love people, is taking the things that God gives me and using them in a way that helps God's mission. And so, the biggest question was because the second question, I missed that, was, if you were God, would you give you more? And that's something really to contemplate.
Yeah.
But then the last question was, does my gift bring joy to the Father? What I bring to the table with my generosity, does it bring joy to the Father? Is it a gift that he goes, hey, I see what you're doing there.
It's good stewardship.
I've given this to you and you are being generous back to me. Yes, and so, because it's one of those things, tithing 10%, and all that. At GraceHill, we talk about it. I don't ever look at what you give, because it doesn't matter, because I don't even know what 10% of what you have is. And it doesn't matter, because generous heart doesn't need to hear a number or, set a number and say, well, okay, we'll do that. A generous heart just goes, this is what I can do. And I'm doing as much as I can do to say thank you. That's a generous heart. So yeah, if people are like, well, should I give 10%? I think you should give whatever you think is generous. Whatever you think is a gift that brings joy to the Father's face. And the story that we told at the very beginning of Dream Big 2 years ago was, the story of the plastic donut. Of when you're sitting there with your kids and they're little and they bring you a plastic donut and they're like, eat it, and it's a plastic donut. It means nothing to you, but you sit there and you act like you eat it and you love it, and they smile and they bring you another one, and they want to bring a gift that brings a smile to your face, and they have nothing to give. And it's the same. Your whatever your check is, I don't care if it's a lot or a little, God doesn't need your money. He wants your heart. He wants you to bring a gift that you go, God, I love you, and look what I'm bringing to you. To see your story come to life, here in this place. I want to be a part of what you're doing, God, and I love you. And that's what we do. We bring a gift that brings a smile to the Lord's face. And so if you can, looking at what's happening in your life, say, the generosity that I'm showing in my time and my talents and my treasures, I do think is bringing a smile to the Lord's face. Good. If it's not, welcome to the rest of the world. So many people struggle in this way to bring generosity to the forefront of their lives and put it first and foremost, But we're going to challenge each other to do that. Because look, at GraceHill with Dream Big, those of us that have been a part of it for years, we've made a commitment. That commitment comes up in December. And we are asking everybody to finish strong, to finish where they're at, and finish their commitment. Because we are counting on that, we make decisions based on what has been pledged. Yeah. But then next year, it's not like we stop being generous. It's just because we don't put a money number out there, and just because we don't say 10%, everybody, I hope we never have to. I hope we just come forward and go, y'all are keeping being generous. Our serve teams are all full with people dedicating their time. Our serve teams are all filled with everyone using their different skill sets. All of the pantheon of ways that you could serve are all filled because everyone's using their skill set. And guys, we're able to fund all the missions that we have, and we even have more than we need, and we're setting that aside to do this, or we're giving it to this organization, or we're plugging this in over here, or we're setting up the next church, or, you know, like, guys, you're being generous. Keep it up. That's what my heart is that we would never have to come in front of the church and be like, hey, you're not being generous enough.
Yeah.
Like, because we have the capacity. We have the capacity to be generous and make a difference.
Well, and just to sum up the entire series, there are multiple ways to be generous and show generosity.
Yeah.
Time, talent, and treasure, and multiple ways to serve. Some people have more time than they have treasure. You know, some people have more talent than they have time.
Yeah.
How can you be best used? And I think we talked about it last week. You know, go to the Lord in prayer. Say, here I am, Lord. Here I am. Use me. Send me.
Yeah. Or, I mean, come to the staff and be like, hey,
what do you guys need?
Here's what I can bring to the table. Mm-hmm. How can you use this?
Yeah.
And we'll be honest. There might be something that we're like, hey, you know what? That just doesn't fit with a need we have right now. Mm-hmm. But here is an organization that would love someone to show up on their doorstep and say, I can do this. Can I help you with that? That would make their day. Mm-hmm. Or I can help in this way, or I care about this topic. Would you allow me to be a part of helping that? You know, we just need to find ways to use what God's given us in a generous way. And in the end, we don't do it for this reason, but in the end, this is the truth. It all comes back to when you do things God's way, you see the abundance of life that He promises. Mm-hmm. That I guarantee when you have a generous heart and you are being generous with your time, your talents, and your resources and your treasures, that you will step back and you will lay your head down at night and you will feel that abundance of peace, of joy, of love, of happiness, of going, man, that was a day well spent.
Yeah.
Not on me, not on my selfishness, not on my stuff, not on, like helping my kids.
And not to my glory.
And not to my glory. Mm-hmm. But that was a day well spent. And that's my hope. And we're going to challenge each other to do it together.
Yeah.
So that's it for Dream Big. We'll talk about it again. Yeah.
3 and out.
We'll talk about it again at some point.
And we'll move on to
for now,
a new series.
Yeah. I'm excited. We're going to be in the book of Matthew for like 8 months. And we're starting things off right now, this upcoming week. And we're just looking at the genealogy of Jesus leading up to Christmas. And, at the very beginning of Matthew, there's all the names, like this person had this person and this, leading all the way to Jesus. And a lot of times that's just something you skip, but actually there's really important people and stories in there. And what we're going to look at is like these people are in Jesus's family tree, and Jesus came for them. Just like He comes for us, because we're going to look at their lives and go, oh, I struggle with that. Oh, that's in my family. And it's going to be like, yeah, that's in Jesus's family tree. Like, He knows us, and He came for people like us. Like, there's no mess He doesn't know. And yeah, I some of these stories, you're going to be like, wow, I haven't ever messed up that big. And yeah, that's Jesus's family line. And so He came if He comes for people like them, then that's good news, because that means He comes for people like us. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we're going to dive in and look at some of these stories.
Yeah, we're going to do Matthew's begats for the song of the day for all 8 weeks. Is that okay?
Yeah. There you go. You're ready. You have that memorized.
No, I thought you'd do it.
Oh, I don't.
That's how you're going to introduce your sermon every Sunday.
Yes.
Okay, ready, guys? Abraham had Isaac.
You know it.
I'm dusting it off.
Yeah,
it's a lot of names. But I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. It's I think it'll be fun. Not fun. It'll be interesting to see how relatable the messes of Jesus's lineage.
Oh yeah,
are to us today.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
All right. What are you dressing up as tonight?
Warm.
Okay.
Yeah. Nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not even a mask?
No.
Football helmet?
No.
Oh, wow.
Next year I'll be a Notre Dame player.
Yeah,
I'll have the full uni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that you're still physically intact.
Hey, if I get carted off in Notre Dame Field, it'll be a life well lived.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Yeah.
See, my boy Kirk went down.
Yeah, tore his Achilles.
Did you see it happen?
No. Saw the
I was
highlight.
like, Achilles.
Yeah.
Like, you can just see foot, toes.
That's what happens. These old guys shouldn't be out there.
That's right.
Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. I saw Aaron in the warm-ups throwing the ball.
I know. He's a marvel.
He's crazy. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Great job attacking this. Sarah said, she's like, wow, he really took on that's a heavy topic, that of generosity and giving, and she was thankful for your approach, and if she was thankful for it, then it touched a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, God bless.
God bless everybody. Happy Halloween.